and this is y. So in this example, it seems to me that it is better to multiply number 2 by minus 3 and then add. So what I'm showing you, I'm just trying to show you the different types and the different ways. Now don't try to remember, don't try to by heart this. When you're going to get the example in front of you, you're going to study the example and then work out. But I'm just putting a little summary here to show you the different methods. Solve 1, put in 2. Add them. Subtract them. Multiply and then add. Multiply by a minus and then add. So there are different ways to solve these linear equations. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to number 1. I'm going to take number 1 and I'm going to work it out for you step by step and show you how it's done. But basically, to solve these equations, there are several methods. So when you get the question, you study the question and then you'll decide what method to use. Alright, so let's go and look at number 1 in detail and see how we solve it. They didn't run away. Okay, good. Right, now let's look at this one. Number 1, we're trying to solve this. So you'll tell yourself, I can take one equation, put it in another, or I can add them up, or I can subtract them, or I must multiply one and then add, or multiply one by a minus number and then add. So I've got a lot of options, so I studied this carefully. So sometimes what we do, we rule a line over here to avoid any confusion. Now when you study these two carefully, you see that number 1 is a very simple equation and you write it down. 2x is equal to 8. And you can actually solve this. It's a simple linear equation. So x is equal to 8 over 2, x is equal to 4. So you see, we were able to solve number 1. Then what we do, we take this and we put in number 2. So if I want to put it in number 2, I must first write number 2 here. So there's number 2 here. Now what is x? X is 4. So where there was x, I must write 4. 4 plus y is equal to 7. Now when you look at this, now you do have a very good brain, Now let's see, there you are, that's you, and you have a very good brain, and you can use your brain to think. And what you are thinking now, you are thinking, oh, well that is a simple linear equation now. Now that is a very simple linear equation. I want to solve for y, so leave the y there. There's the 7, transpose the 4, y is equal to 7 minus 4, 3. So you found the value for x, you found the value for y. So in the end, if you like, you can write the answer like this. X semicolon y is equal to 4 semicolon 3. So you see, we solved one and we put it in the other one. So each question will give you an idea what to do. So in number 1, when you studied it, you realized what to do. Alright, so I will shortly do number 2 for you. So here is number 2. Now in this equation we need to get used to some words. There are 2 unknowns. So there are 2 unknowns. And the unknowns are x and y. Now when we study these 2 equations, and in our mind we have a lot of choices. We have a lot of choices in our mind. I can solve one and put in other, or I can add, or I can subtract, or I will multiply one and then add, and so on and so on. So in your mind, you got all these ideas, and you look here. So when you look here, you realize, oh, this one works out very easy. I just got to add it. So you just add. You see, why you want to add or subtract or multiply and then add is because you want to get rid of one of the unknowns. You want one of the unknowns must disappear. So let's see what happens. When I add it, x plus x gives me 2x. Plus y and minus y give me 0. Because if I put plus 1 in the calculator and minus 1 in the calculator and add it up, I'll get 0. Plus 1 plus minus 1 equal to, it'll give me 0. So I won't waste my time writing 0 here. Is equal to 8 plus 2, 10. So remember what I'm doing to these two? I am adding them up. So x plus x, 2x. When I add that, I get 0. I won't waste my time writing 0 here. And 8 plus 2 is 10. Now, this is a simple linear equation, isn't it? So x is equal to 10 divided by 2. X is equal to 5. Right, then what do you say? You say, right, put in number 2. So we have to write number 2 down here. Well, the choice is yours. You can put in number 2 or you can put in number 1. Anyway, you can put in number 2 or number 1. There's a minus sign here. So, choice is yours. But since I said 2, there's x minus y is equal to 2. Now, alright, so here we are. Now, before you put that 5 in x, it's nice to write a bracket like that. Anytime if you want to put one number for another letter, or if you want to substitute 5 here, substitute is a big word, put is a simple word. If you want to put a number, it's always nice to have a bracket. So there's your 5, I put it in there. Now, this will remain 5. You'll see later on why this is so important. Minus y is equal to 2. You see? Because although nothing is written here, it's actually 1 is understood. 1 times 5 is 5. That's how we remove the bracket. And then minus y is equal to 2. Oh, sorry, let's go from one side. This 5, I want to take it that side. So it's plus 5 understood. It becomes minus 5. And then the 2, I'm just bringing it down. So minus y is equal to minus 5 plus 2 will give you minus 3. Now remember, it's not completed. You have to divide by minus 1. Divide by minus 1, divide by minus 1. Now minus divided by minus gives you plus. So we end up with y plus 1y, which is y. Minus divided by minus is plus. 3 over 1 is 3. So we got the answer for y, and y is 3. Now you can test. So this is like a disco, you know, testing, 1, 2. Because you have to test 2 times. You got x and you got y. So you test. You are saying x is 5. You are saying y is 3. So x is 5. 5 plus 3 gives you 8. 5 minus 3 gives you 2. You're testing your answers to see if the answers are correct. These answers must make that true and that true. You must make both the equations true. So that is how we solve this example. Alright, so we're going to move on to number 3. Right, sorry. Now I changed my mind. I'm not going to do number 3. Now what I'm going to do, I showed you number 1, I showed you number 2. In number 1, you solve the first one, you put it in the second one. In number 2, you just added them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put 2 examples now. You work the 2 examples out first. So I'm going to call it simultaneous equation exercise 1. So this is simultaneous equation exercise 1. So I give you a simple exercise. Say 3x is equal to 12 and x plus y is equal to 9. So you got to solve that, right? And then let me give you another one. X plus y is equal to 11 x minus y is equal to minus 1. Right, here are two equations. So it's a little exercise and you're going to work it out, try it out, get it right, and then we'll move on. Remember, to succeed in maths, you always have to do things, you must learn little by little and learn them step by step. So if there's about 4 methods, don't try to learn all 4 methods one time. We're going to learn maybe just 2 methods, try the example, get it right, then we move on to the next method. Alright, so we always go step by step. So let's stop the DVD and try these 2 examples and then we will continue. Okay, so you got this question here, you're looking at number 1 and your brain box is working now and your brain box tells you, oh, so this one you must solve one and put in the other. So you just draw a little line like that. You take 3x is equal to 12 and you solve it. So 12 divided by 3, x is equal to 4 and you put in 2. You see, you're supposed to write 1 here and you're supposed to write 2 like that. So you put it in 2. So if I want to put this in number 2, first I must write it down. Now x, so I'm going to put it where there is x. So x plus y is equal to 9. So what is x? X is 4. So now I remove the bracket. Plus 1 is understood here. 1 times 4 is 4 plus y is equal to 9. Now this is a simple equation. You're solving it. You want to transpose the 4. You're going to take it that side. So plus y, I can just write y is equal to plus 4. The plus is understood. Goes that side, it becomes minus 4. And that 9, I'm just bringing it down from top here. That's why its sign don't change, because you're only bringing it down. 4, its sign change because you're transposing. So y is equal to minus 4 plus 9 gives you 5. So we solved it. We got x is 4 and we got y is 5. And you can test. 3 times 4 is 12. And 4 plus 5 is 9. You're testing your answers to see if it is correct. Alright, now we're going to work out number 2. Alright, here we have number 2. So once again, you are busy thinking and you read the question and you're asking yourself, what must I do? And your brain box tells you that look, we must add these 2 because if we add, the y will disappear. So we add x plus x, 2x. When you add this, you get 0. When you add this to 11 plus minus 1. Remember, always use the calculator to help you. If you don't know your bonds, if you don't know this in your head, just use the calculator to help you. 11 plus minus 1 gives you 10. So x is equal to 10 over 2. X is equal to 5. Put in, you've got a choice. You can put in 1 or you can put in 2. Alright? So I'm going to put it in 1. So I'm putting it in 1. So I write down number 1 first. X plus y is equal to 11. And I'm going to put it where there is x. So what is x? X is 5. So I'm going to take that 5 and put it here. So I'm taking that 5, putting it here. So I now open the bracket out. That will be 5 plus y is equal to 11. So y is equal to this 5. If I take it across, it becomes minus 5 plus 11. The 11 I'm just bringing it down. Minus 5 plus 11 gives you 6. So we solve for y, and y is equal to 6. Well, there we are. And that finishes number 2. If you're feeling comfortable about these 2 methods now, then we will move on. I'm sure you're feeling comfortable. If not, then what you must do is just try the examples over and over till you feel it's just coming to you automatically and you can do it quickly. Now after this, we're going to go on to example 3 and 4. Okay, so there's example 3. Now when you want to do example 3, you study the example and you go through the various methods in your mind. And then your mind tells you, well, look, I can't solve that and put it in here. Well, there is an option. I can do that. I can solve 1 and put it in 2. It might take me a little longer. I can do that, and I'm going to show it to you just now. Or, can I just add them? No. Can I just subtract them? No. Can I multiply 1? Oh, hold on. See? I can just subtract them, and that will be easier. I can just subtract them, because if I subtract number 2 from number 1, the y will disappear. So, I have now decided that no, we're going to subtract. That will be the fastest. So, you have learnt to subtract in algebra. And subtraction means you will change the bottom sign. So this is plus, it becomes minus. This is plus, it becomes minus. This is plus, it becomes minus. So you change the bottom sign and then add, right? And then add. To subtract here means change the bottom sign and then add them up. Right. So now I'm adding x and minus 3x. I get minus 2x. Plus y and minus y gives me 0. 10 plus minus 22 gives me minus 12. Right. Then from here it's very easy. X is equal to minus 12 over minus 2. A minus divided by a minus gives you plus 12 divided by 2 gives you 6. So we have solved for x. Now you take this and you can put it in 1 or 2. Now be clever, because number 2 is harder. So put it in 1. So 1 is x plus y. So we're going to put in 1. X plus y is equal to 10. So what is x? 6. 6 plus y is equal to 10. Y is equal to, take the 6 that side, minus 6 plus 10. Y is equal to plus 4. So we have solved for x and we have solved for y. So this one was just subtracting and then moving forward. Alright, we'll move on to example 4 shortly. Example 4. X minus 3y is equal to 3. 2x plus 3y is equal to 16. Once again, you go through all the options you have. You go through it in your mind. Or you could have written this down on a page and you could have then refer to your page and see which method can I apply over here. So, solve 1 and put in 2, no good. If I add them, sorry, this is supposed to be x minus y. Sorry, that's a question. X minus y is equal to 3 and 2x plus 3y is equal to 16. Right. So, let's see. Can I solve 1 and put in 2? Yes, it is possible. I can solve 1 and put in 2, but that's another method and it will take a little more time. So, I'm going to show you that method in the end. But let me see, can I add them up? If I add them up, I'll get 3x here, I'll get 2y here. One of the unknowns must disappear when I add or subtract, so it's no good. Can I subtract them? If I subtract them, the unknowns won't disappear, no good. Multiply one equation and then add. Oh, so that looks like will help me. Because if I take that choice, multiply one equation and then add. Have a good look. Right, looking. Have a good look. Right? You must look. So you're having a good look and you're saying, look, if I multiply this one by 3, this will be 3x, this will be minus 3y. Minus 3y and plus 3y will give me 0. So you say Ha ha. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. I'm going to multiply one equation and then subtract. So you take the first one and you multiply it by 3. So you're taking number 1 and you're multiplying it by 3. You see, you're taking number 1, you're multiplying it by 3. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times minus y is minus 3y. 3 times 3 is 9. So you took number 1, you multiplied it by 3. Now you take number 2 and just write it down like that. Just write it just like that. You're repeating this. So there's your 2x plus 3y is equal to 16. And now if you like, you can number this 3 and you can number this 4. 5. Now when you study it here, you see that, oh, if I add, the 3's will disappear. So now we're going to add. 3x plus 2x will give you 5x. When you add this, you get 0. Is equal to 9 plus 60, 25. X is equal to 25 divided by 5. X is equal to 5. You found the value for x. And now you must put it in number 1 or number 2. If I put it in number 1, there's less work for me. If I put it in number 2, it's a little more work. So I'll put it in number 1. So number 1 says x minus y is equal to 3. And wherever I'm going to put the number, I put a bracket. So that's where I'm going to put the number. Minus y is equal to 3. So x is 5, you see. So that's a 5 I'm going to put in here. X is 5, I'm going to put it in here. There's the 5. So I remove the bracket here. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 minus y is equal to 3. Minus y is equal to, take the 5 onto that side, minus 5. Bring down the 3. Minus y is equal to minus 2. Now, minus y, so you're going to divide both sides by minus 1. Divide by minus 1. Minus divided by minus gives you plus. You end up with y is equal to. Minus divided by minus gives you plus. 2 over 1 is 2. So your final answer is y is equal to 2. Alright, so that was example 4. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to example 5, and then I'm going to come back to this example here to show you how you can use that method on this example here. Alright, so that brings us to the end of example 4. Shortly I shall finish example 5 for you. Alright, so in this example we had to multiply one equation, that one there, and then add after that. So that's what we did. We multiplied number 1 by 3. Okay, let's move on to example 5. Okay, so here we have example 5. 2x plus 3y is equal to 8. 3x plus y is equal to 5. And we want to solve these. Right. So we go through the options. Can I do that? No. Can I do that? No. Can I subtract? No. Can I multiply 1 and then add? If I multiply this by 3, it will become 3y. But if I add, it won't solve my problem. Can I multiply 1 and then subtract? If I multiply this by 3 and then subtract, it will solve my problem, because when I subtract, the signs will change and the y can disappear. So I realize, okay, so that's the choice I have. So I got a choice now. I can multiply the top one or the bottom one. Well, clearly it's easier to multiply the bottom one, right? Because I want to make this 3y, right? The fact is I can multiply any one, but if I multiply this by 3, it will become 3y. Now let's do it. So the top one will remain the same, 2x plus 3y is equal to 8. That one remains the same, and you can just give it a new number. But now you're taking the second one, number 2, and you're going to multiply it by 3. You see? You're going to take number 2, you're going to multiply it by 3. So if you multiply that by 3, 3 3's will give you 9x. 3 times y will give you plus 3y. 3 times 5 will give you 15. And that gives you equation 4. Now, there they are. And what we're going to do is now we're going to subtract. Subtract means change the bottom sign and add, right? So I will change this. This is plus, it will become minus. This is plus, it will become minus. This is plus, it will become minus. Change the bottom sign and then add. And now I have to add. 2 and minus 7, if I add it, I'll get 2 and minus 9 will give me minus 7. 2 and minus 9 will give me minus 7. Plus 3 and minus 3 will give me 0. Minus 7 is equal to 8 and minus 15 will give me minus 7. If you know your integers, good. If you don't know, put it in the calculator. 8 plus minus 15 will give you minus 7. So x is equal to minus 7 divided by minus 7. X is equal to plus 1. Well, feel good. You have solved for that. And you're going to take that now and put in. You got a choice. You can put it in 2 or you can put it in 1. Let's say I want to put it in 1. So first I would have to write down number 1. 2x plus 3y is equal to 8. Then where there is x, I'm going to put a bracket because I'm going to put the number there. So x is 1. So I'm going to take that 1 and put it here. Right. So 2 times 1. Now you'll see why I kept telling you must put the bracket. Because when you put the bracket like this, it's clearly reminding you you have to multiply 2 times 1, 2, plus 3y is equal to 8. 3y is equal to, this 2, I'm transposing it, minus 2. Plus 8, I'm just bringing that down. 3y is equal to, minus 2 plus 8 will give you 6. Y is equal to 6 over 3, or 6 divided by 3. Y is equal to 2. So we have solved that x is 1 and y is 2. Alright, so that was example 5. So those are the various options you have, and you can't say what is the method because each question has got its own method. So you read the question and then you choose one of these methods. Alright, so I'm going to redo number 4 to show you that you could have done it using method 1. Alright, so let's take a short break from example 5. No, I won't do the new method now. Let me give you a little exercise. You try that and then I will show you the other method. Right, let's do an exercise. Good. Let's get back. Simultaneous equations, exercise 2. Number 1, x plus y is equal to 5. 2x plus y is equal to 8. Number 2, x minus y is equal to 8. 2x plus 5y is equal to 10. And number 3, 2x plus 3y is equal to 13. 3x plus 2y is equal to 12. Right? So you're going to go through the various options, you're going to go through the various methods that you have and see which method is best for you and solve them using whatever method you feel is going to solve the problem for you. Alright, so stop the DVD, try them out and come back and then I'll help you and work them out for you. The good thing is I'm not coming to mark your work, so you don't have to fright. Just do it. If you got it right, great. If you got it wrong, not so great, you redo it and then you'll get it right. Okay, try it. Right, so here are the solutions to simultaneous equations exercise 2. Alright, so we number them 1 and we number them 2 and we study them and we realize, look, if I add them, my problem is not solved. But if I subtract these two equations, I'm done. So I'll have to subtract. So that's what I realize here. I have to subtract. And the word subtract means change the bottom sign and add. So I have changed the bottom signs. You see, they were all plus. Therefore, they'll all become minus. So 1 is understood here. 1 plus minus 2 will give you minus 1. Plus 1 and minus 1 will give you 0. 5 and minus 8 will give you minus 3. 5 plus minus 8 gives you minus 3. Now x is equal to minus 3 divided by minus 1. X is equal to minus divided by minus is plus. So 3 over 1 is 3. So x is 3, and now I got a choice. I must put it in 1 or 2. 1 is a simpler equation, therefore I'll put it in 1. So number 1 says x plus y is equal to 5. If I like to draw a little line here just to make my work clear to me, I can do that if I like. X plus y is 5. Now x is 3. So I'm going to be putting a number there for x. X is 3, so I put it in there. So 3 plus y is 5. Y is, take that there, it becomes minus 3 plus 5. Y is equal to, well, minus 3 plus 5 gives you 2. And so you have solved that x is 3 and y is 2. And you can test. X is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. And then 2x, that means 2 3s, 6 plus 2 gives you 8. So you can test your answer like that. Alright, shortly I will give you the solution for number 2. Alright, so here's question number 2. X minus y is equal to 8. 2x plus 5y is equal to 10. And once again you ask yourself, can I solve 1 and put it in 2? Well, I can do that if I want to, but I will see if I can do it some other way. Can I add them? Well, if I add them, I don't win. If I subtract them, I don't win because that's only 1 and this is 5. So it seems I have to multiply and then add. Yes. So what I'll have to do is multiply and then add. So, if I take number 1 and I multiply it by 5 right through, then I'll have minus 5 there, I'll have plus 5 there, and when I add it, the y will disappear. So, that's it. I'm going to take number 1 and I'm going to multiply it by 5. So 5 times x is 5x. 5 times minus y is minus 5y. 5 times 8 is 40. Right, we finished that. We can call it number 3. Then we take number 2 and just rewrite it just like that. 2x plus 5y is equal to 10. You see there, I only multiplied so far. Now I'm going to add them up. So that'll be number 4. I'm going to add them up. 5x and 2x will give me 7x. This will give me 0. And that will give me 50. Right? That will give me 50. Right. Now, let's just check the work quickly. X minus y is equal to 8. 2x plus 5y is equal to 10. Multiply number 1 by 5. 5 times x is 5x minus 5y, and that will give you 40. 2x plus 5y is equal to 10. Right. Now, 2x plus 5x gives you 7x, that gives you 0, and that gives you 50. So x is equal to, now it doesn't mean you're going to get exact numbers every time. So this time you're not going to get an exact number. X is equal to 50 divided by 7. Okay? So I'm going to leave it like that. That's what x is. And then what do? I put this in number 1 because number 1 is an easier equation. Alright. So what's number 1? X minus y is equal to 8. Alright. So what is x? X is 50 over 7 minus y is equal to 8. So minus y is equal to, take this across, minus 50 over 7 plus 8. Now, minus 50 over 7, 7 divides into 50 7 times. 7 7 is 49. So it's minus 7 and 1, 7 plus 8. Right. Well, if you subtract this, your answer is 8 minus 7 and 1, 7. The final answer is 6 over 7. So y, now be careful, minus y is equal to 6 over 7. So to make this y positive, I got two choices. I can divide both sides by minus 1. I can divide by minus 1, or I can multiply by minus 1. Both means the same. So if I multiply this by minus 1, it will become y. If I multiply this by minus 1, it will become minus 6 over 7. So that's your final answer for y. And it doesn't mean every time you're going to get whole numbers. You must be prepared to even get fractions. Alright, so that's where we end with number 2. Alright, so here we have number 3. And when we study number 3, we get 2x plus 3y is equal to 13. 3x plus 2y is equal to 12. And then we ask ourselves, can I take 1 and put it in 2? Well, it doesn't look like, because if I try that, it is possible. If I try that, it will be very untidy, it will be long, it will be hard. So there must be some other way. So better I not try that. Don't try to take that and put it here. Then next thing, can I add them? If I add them, I won't win, because I'll get 5y. If I subtract them, I'll still have y. So I must multiply 1 and then add, or multiply 1 and then subtract. Well, even if I try that, I'll have a problem. You see, all these numbers are different. You see, if I had 4 there, I can multiply only 1. If I had 4 there, I'll multiply only this one. I'll make it 4, and that 4 and this 4 will work. But all these are different. So I have to multiply both. So I realize that I have to multiply both. I'll explain again. See, if that was 4, then I can just multiply this by 2 only, and I'll have 4 and 4, and I can subtract, it will work. But it won't work because this is 3. So I have to now multiply both the equations. I've got to make both of them 6, or I've got to make both of them 12, so that I can subtract them and one of them will disappear. Suppose I want to make these both 6 and 6, you see. I want to make both of them 6. So it means I must take number 1 and multiply it by 2. If I want to make that 6, I have to multiply it by 2. So 2 2's gives you 4x plus 2 3's give you 6y plus 2 times 13 gives you 26. So I took number 1 and I multiplied it by 2. Now I take number 2. You see, I want to make this 6. So that means I must multiply this by 3, because 3 2's gives me 6. So I'm going to take number 2 and multiply by 3. 3 3's 9x plus 3 2's 6y and 3 12's 36. So multiply that by 3, multiply that by 3, multiply that by 3. Number them, so that becomes 3. Number that becomes 4. Right. Now, if I subtract these two, the y and the y will disappear. So what I'm going to do now? Now I'm going to subtract. So subtract means I must change the bottom sign and then add. So I'll make that minus, that becomes minus, that becomes minus. So, subtract means change the bottom sign and then add. So 4 and minus 9 will give you minus 5x. That will give me 0. And this will give me minus 10. Yes, that will give me minus 10. So x is equal to minus 10 over minus 5. X is equal to plus 2. So I have solved for x. And then I take this and put it in number 1 or 2. Choice is yours. Say I put it in 1. So I'll put it in 1. So what's number 1? Number 1 is 2x plus 3y is equal to 13. So I'm going to put x. So there's 2. I'm going to put a number for x plus 3y is equal to 13. And now x is 2. So I'll get 2 coming here. So there's the 2. You see, the bracket helps me and it tells me I must multiply. So 2 2's 4 plus 3y is equal to 13. Right? 2 2's 4 plus 3y is equal to 13. Now 3y is equal to, the 4 must go across, minus 4 plus 13. 3y is equal to 9. Minus 4 plus 13 will give you 9. Y is equal to 9 divided by 3. So y is equal to 3. So your final answer, x is equal to 2, y is equal to 3. And if you test it, you'll find that both the equations are true. Alright, so that was the answer for number 3. And I hope you got them all right. If you didn't, don't lose hope. Just try them again and first see your working, see where you made a mistake, try them again. And remember, to succeed, you have to try them over and over. Remember, practice makes perfect.
You take that toolbox and you open it, you'll see a screwdriver or a spanner and all that, and some equipment. I said, if you know how to use this, you
Hello and welcome back. As we promised earlier, we're going to show you how to solve simultaneous equations by substitution of one equation into another. Let's say we have the example 2x plus y is equal to 10, and we had 3x plus 4y is equal to 25, and we wanted to solve this. So let's just call that 1 and call that 2. So what you can do is you can take number 1 and put it into number 2. But you have to do a little step. So what you do, you take number 1, you write it down here, 2x plus y is equal to 10. Then you study these two things carefully. Here you got 2x and here you got y. So it's better to leave y here and take the 2x on the other side. So leave the y here. Right? There's the 10 here. Take this 2x on that side, it will become minus 2x. So y is equal to 10, and this 2x went on that side, it becomes y is equal to 10 minus 2x. So what happens now, you put this in 2. So we write down number 2, which is 3x plus 4y is equal to 25. Now where there is x, you're going to write 10 minus 2x. So there's your 3x plus 4, and you open the bracket, and inside the bracket you write 10 minus 2x is equal to 25. And then you just have to remove the brackets. So there's your 3x plus 4 times 10 is 40. 4 times minus 2 will give you minus 8x is equal to 25. Now on this side, 3x minus 8x on the left hand side gives you minus 5x. See, 3x and minus 8x gives you minus 5x. Now the plus 40, we take it onto the other side. This becomes minus 40 plus 25. So now we've got minus 5x is equal to minus 15. See, we add the 2 up. And then x is equal to minus 15 divided by minus 5. X is equal to plus 3. Because minus divided by minus is plus. And 15 divided by 5 is 3. And then you take this and you put in 1. Now you know that y is 10 minus 2x. So y is 10 minus 2x. So y is equal to 10 minus 2 times 3, because x is now 3. So y is equal to 10 minus 6, and the final answer is 4. So you end up saying that y is equal to 4. X is 3, y is 4. So that's substituting one equation into the other. Now you will ask a question, and the question will be, why did I choose y? Why I didn't choose 2x? If I choose 2x to remain on this side, the working is going to get more complicated. There's going to be a fraction involved. So it's better to take the simple one, which is plus y. But I'm going to do an example a little later where there is a fraction. But first, let's learn the simple things. So there were the two given equations. I wanted to substitute number 1 into number 2. So all I did, I wrote that down here first. Then I made y the subject of the formula. When we write y here, and we take the 2x that side, we say we made y the subject of the formula. So y is equal to that. Then we took, wherever there is y, we wrote 10 minus 2x. So y was here. So we wrote 10 minus 2x. Then we removed bracket. 4 times 10, 40. 4 times minus 2 is minus 8x. And then we simplified on the left hand side. We just simplified 3x minus 8x minus 5x. The plus 40, I took it onto the right hand side, it becomes minus 40. Then I simplified that side. When I simplified that, I got minus 50. And then it was just following the steps. Divide by minus 5, you get x is 3. Then take the 3 and put it in number 1. Well, whether I put it there or whether I put it here, it's the same thing. It's like putting it in number 1. If I can put it there or put it here, both is the same. It's as good as putting in number 1. So I put it there, 10 minus 2 times 3, 10 minus 6, y is 4. So that's your solution for this set of simultaneous equations. X is 3, y is 4. Alright, I'm going to do another example now of the same type, where there's going to be a fraction, so you know how to handle a fraction. Alright, here we have example 2. Now if you look at example 2,